Welcome back to Elephant in the Room number 10. We are in the double digits, ladies and gentlemen. Now, before I even go any farther in the podcast, I'm going to need everyone that's actually watching the video. If you haven't subscribed yet, I'm 13 people away from hitting 100. It's going to be my first goal. You know, there's many goals after that, but I'll really appreciate it if you just take the time, hit the subscribe button, because there's many good things to come. And since the people I had supposed to come tonight, me and Tony are going to be on, but the people that were supposed to be here tonight had to cancel because his kid had a parade today, and babies first, always over anything. So me and Tony are doing it tonight, but I have a newscaster from the CW. I'm not going to say a name just yet because I don't have the exact day and time and everything locked down, but that will be within the next 2 weeks. If it's not this Sunday coming up, it'll be the next Sunday that'll be recorded. We are going to do this one live, but we had a bunch of stuff going on, so we're just going to do it like we usually do. And the next one, hopefully, will be live. I also have a vet coming on that worked at Guantanamo Bay, so that should be very, very interesting. We'll sit here and dig into him for a little bit and hear whatever he'll let us hear. You know what I mean? Got some rappers and some producers and some other things coming on. It's definitely gonna be worth staying tuned. Definitely gonna be worth sitting in and listening to what's going on. So now that I got all that good stuff out the way, we are gonna do episode tonight that is just uncomfortable to think about. We're gonna hear to talk about the word nigger. Not nigger, like, yo, what's up, my nigga? No, nigger. And, like, the hatefulness behind it and, like, the origins behind it and all these types of crazy things. I got the laptop sitting here with me because Tony's over here with me. So we're going to start Googling some shit and just searching facts, because we're not going to sit here and just spout off nonsense, because regardless of whatever the fuck people want to say, the word is rooted in just ignorance and hatred and slavery at the end of the day. And if you don't understand that it has bad roots from coming from slavery, then you have some personal issues that you need to deal with, don't you, buddy? Like, I don't know what to tell you. So before we go any farther, Tony, you got anything you want to say about it?
I don't know. We'll really dive into it. I just think it's definitely a really good topic. We really just kind of picked it out a couple hours ago that I heard it the first time. It's definitely something I think we should talk about, because I just had a conversation with somebody recently about using it, and they knew who they are.
Using what?
Using the word nigger. Not necessarily with a hard R, just
no,
a white man coming from a place where it's all white men who hate black men using the word at all, even if slang in a non-derogatory way to me, just sounds like you're spitting in the face of everybody that is black.
It's horrible. Yeah, it's disgusting. People don't want to accept this for some reason. There's so many arguments that you hear behind it that are, no, it's not. It doesn't mean that you're a black person or anything like that, when the people that say that 9 times out of 10 either assume that it's a black person they're talking to. You know what I mean? Like if they're playing video games or something like that, or if they get in an argument with somebody, that's the first thing they turn to. Like I grew up in a white area. Like I grew up in Perry County and bounced back and forth between Harrisburg and Perry County and juvie and prison and all that good shit. You know what I mean? So I saw all sides of life. You know what I mean? Especially being a light-skinned dude, like from the more suburb area, like it is. I really saw every side of life. You know what I mean? Like I really got to experience it all from like first. I remember first understanding that black people are racist too. Like there's a bunch of black ass racist ass motherfuckers out there that don't want to say that they're racist because they're talking about white people, and it's the exact same thing. Like I got kids, man. We don't have time to bounce around all this bullshit anymore. Like fuck all that. You know what the fuck you're talking about. You know what I mean? But I don't know. Tell me what was going on with this kid though. What was he talking about?
Bro, I'm just saying. I'm saying we're in a generation now where like it's starting to die. At least I think so. I hope so. Where SoundCloud has made it where everybody is a rapper now. Everybody thinks they're a rapper. We're all gangbangers. We looked up on Google Images how to throw up gang signs for gangs that are within like 400 or 500 miles of here, so we won't get shot when we start doing it and claiming we're from there, or we're in some way attached. So like every 16, 17-year-old white kid in high school thinks that if he buys like a green bandana or a brown rag, puts it in his back pocket, he can say nigga and like jump in the studio and like he's that dude, and it's cool, he gets a pass. But like
it's not. It's not.
It was another situation where like someone came over, like I saw him for something or other, and like he just said it in passing, and I was like, yo, you You said you're from West Virginia, right? Yeah. Don't do that, bro.
Yo,
Don't say that.
I posted, I don't remember exactly what the fuck I posted on Facebook. No, what? It was me. It was something. Oh, it was the fucking Dr. Seuss joint. About how white people aren't allowed to say nigger. You can't see it here, you can't see it there, you can't fucking say it anywhere. You know what I mean? It was some little stupid nursery rhyme shit like that. And one of the white kids I grew up with, as much as I like you, you have a misunderstanding of where we stand. Obviously, if you think that that's what it really is, because it's fucking not, bro.
Yeah.
Like, it's not. I don't give a fuck if you think we're cool or none of that shit. Like, at the end of the day, it wasn't about you should be getting punched in the face every time you said it. The point was you shouldn't be saying it at all. Yeah. You know what I mean? And like, even as a black man, I try as much as I can not to say it, because like, if there's one thing I ever really heard about racism that stuck to me to the core is when Morgan Freeman said, if you really want to get rid of racism, just stop talking about it. Just stop bringing it up. Stop having fucking race as a checkbox on the fucking employment forms and all this shit, so people have to identify themselves. Because at the end of the day, as long as there's a white pride or a black pride, there's always going to be the extremists on either side, just like any religion or anything like that. Yeah. You know what I mean? I don't know. People will go crazy. You know what I mean? Because, like I said, as long as there's a Black Lives Matter, that's why people reacted so badly to Black Lives Matter, in my opinion. Because if black people would have went with the phrase "All Lives Matter" from the door, you know what I mean? The whole situation be returned. It wouldn't have been how the thought if any of that went. Because at the end of the day, they were turning white people away at the protests that were trying to march with them and shit. Like Martin Luther King marched with white people. Y'all people are stupid. You making us look bad. That's going backwards.
It's actually ridiculous. It's kind of ridiculous. I mean, it's really like marching for something and then doing the exact opposite to march for it.
Bernie Sanders marched with Martin Luther King, man. You know what I mean? I think if Martin Luther King would have told white people, y'all can't march with us, while trying to talk about equality. And it's one of those things that never made sense to me when I saw it. I'm like, well, this is going to send us backwards, man. It's going to send my kids are going to have to deal with it for another generation, because that just pushed it to the forefront of everybody's fucking thought. And then Trump came into office, we
really encourage, by putting him in office, everyone wants to defend everything, like, oh, we're doing better. We're not better. We really just encourage somebody who can say whatever the fuck he wants and do whatever the fuck he wants. Just say racist shit. Like, my man made fun of a crippled man in an electrical wheelchair during, like, before election for his first term, but we still voted that into office. My dude's whole thing was like, Mexico, build a wall! Yeah. And every angry redneck was like, fuck yeah, Mexico, fuck them! Like, bro, it's terrible. How did we encourage? We didn't just encourage them. We made that the figurehead of our country. To every other country, we're a fucking joke right now.
The biggest
joke.
The
fact that in their eyes, we collectively picked that as our representation. That's fucking ridiculous. And it's so backwards, dude. Like we went from Obama, the first black president, to the exact opposite, and it's like stepping backwards in a bush with a toupee.
And that's what I was about to say. Like, people can say what they want about Obama, but he was well respected as a leader in the global community. You know what I mean? Like, other leaders of the world, even if you ain't like him or not, like, you at least respected him as a president. You know what I mean? Just like he showed the same respect to other kings and presidents and shit like that. Because at the end of the day, they can get nuclear weapons off the instructions for it off the internet, right? Like, so it's not like an impossible thing for them to do it. They just don't do it because we say that we're going to do something like tariffs or this, that, and the third and all that. And at the end of the day, we always have like the first strike procedure that's completely legal. You know what I mean? We can just attack someone first. Like, it doesn't fucking matter. But anyway, we got way off topic here for a second. I don't know. I guess it's time to pull out some Google shit here. I'm just gonna pull on my phone, I guess. But like, I want to know what's some of the biggest myths and shit, or not the myths, I guess, but the excuses that you can remember people saying.
So my father is a Hildonite, he's racist, but like, man, since I was a kid, every time he played video games, he played Call of Duty terribly. And every time something happened, he died, he was shot. Like, cheating nigger! Like, oh, he's got a hand switch! You fuck camera nigger! Everybody was a nigger. It wasn't because they were, like, bad at the game or they were cheating. It's just that was the one you went with. And anytime he'd ask him, he'd be like, I'm not racist. Like, nigger just means a lazy or ignorant person. Like, that's never actually been the definition of it. Or I think white people would be saying it to each other a lot more often. And I've never heard you say it to a white person ever. It's weird that you only defend it, like, when someone's like, yeah, that's some racist shit.
And the funniest part is, like, when you say that to them, like, I never hear you actually, like, get in an argument with a white guy and call him a fucking nigger to his face like that. You never hear that. You never fucking hear that. But they'll be like, oh, yes, the fuck I do. I'll say it. It's like, yeah, but you won't say it to somebody in the argument, is my point. Like, if you do say it, it's more of an expression of hatred to you than anything else. And that, that by itself should be bad enough because you know what the origin of it is, regardless of what you want to say.
Damn. And they use that same thing, like, there's a difference between a black person and a nigger. And it's like, you...
What do you think the origin of the word nigger is?
Yeah, are you just... At that point, when you that phrase of language is you saying, a nigger is a black person you don't like.
Oh, exactly.
That's all it is. So you just saying it's your derogatory... It's you literally breaking down, this is my derogatory word for black people I don't like. And that's exactly what you're telling me. People say that shit. It's like, bro, you just explaining to me that you're using it as a derogatory word.
For all the white people that don't want to acknowledge that the word is not something that you should be using, and you want to have some crazy ass fucking whatever the fuck if you think the definition of the word and the origin of the word comes from anything but white people talking down to black people. You know what I mean? I got the exact origin of the word right here. N-I-G-G-G-R. Origin, English, Latin, and English. It comes from the English word negar, the Latin nigger, and the English negro, and they put it together. It says nigger in the late 16th century. From the earlier negar after Latin nigger, black is what the fucking all comes from. It's Latin for black is what it really comes down to. And like, you have so many people that load it with so much hatred over the years, and now it's a derogatory word, and now that they're still spouting that shit off. That's the conclusion right there for anyone that wants to be fucking arguing about it, because hey, anytime one of you little white fucks want to sit there and be like, yo, what's up, my nigga? At the end of the day, you're saying, yo, what's up, my black? So if you're saying that to me or one of your white friends or whatever, explain how that makes sense to you now. It's some cultural norm that you're just not going to make it mean what the fuck it means. Like, that, and now it makes even more sense. Now think about it like this one. When black people try to explain to you, like when I say to another black person, it doesn't mean nothing because I'm black. That's why. Because I'm black saying, what's up, my fellow black man. You know what I mean? And when it's a white person saying it to a black dude, or a white person saying a white dude, I think it's, I don't know, you know what I mean. It's a white person saying to a white guy or a black guy. Whether you're saying either way, when you're saying, yo, what's up, my nigga, you're saying, yo, what's up, my black. You know what I mean? And if you don't see that as racist deep in some part of your fucking mind, you're stupid.
That's what killed me, because it was a white dude to me, a ginger kid at that. Like, you know, alright, my nigga, like, yo, you, wait, what? I gotta tell you, don't say that. Like, don't say what? Like, don't say that. Like, don't. You're from West Virginia. Like, don't stop.
It's horrendous, man.
Like, it's weird. You ain't cool because you say that shit. You ain't from nowhere hard. Like, shut up. You're 17.
Horrendous. But good news is, while we've been sitting here talking, that certain CW reporter just text me. So I'll be nailing down the exact details after this podcast. Hopefully I have it up on Instagram and Facebook and everything after I upload this video, maybe before. It should be up probably before the morning. I don't know. I guess that's enough of the hate-filled awkwardness, because it just makes me feel weird to think about talking about the word nigger.
I don't think it's really that's awkward. I mean, it's making, for me, it's like, I don't know, growing around my father said so much, and then when I was around my mom, like living with my mother, she didn't. No one in the house did. Yeah. And then I moved back in with him, and I had to stay in prison the first time. It was like more than 2 years ago now, probably 2.5, maybe 3 years ago now. Yeah. I lived in his house, and it was like, because his wife had left him for a black man, like, every black man was in it, and you were sure to hear about it. Like, if they were light-skinned, like Puerto Rican, we'd be like, so you mean the fucking nigger. Like, bro, he had a Mexican flag hanging from his rearview mirror. You're full of shit.
Nah, you fucking same nigga.
Yeah, same nigga. Like, bro, you really just hate everyone.
Like, you know they don't live in the desert right now.
And the worst thing in this situation, he's just like, well, you know, my wife left me for one, but I know for a fact of at least 2 women you had cheated on her with before this happened.
Let alone the fact he was tracking her on GPS when she would go out with me to the bar, and I'm a fucking nephew.
And it's like, bro, but he was cheating several times before then. His girlfriend paid me $100 on my 21st birthday to not tell Liz where he went when we left with her, and I was just like, yeah, what? So like, you hate an entire race now because she did that with someone and they happen to be black, and you've done it with an Asian woman, a white woman, an old woman. Like,
you're like Is he 50? I want to say he's over 50.
Bro, he's almost 50.
If he's not 50,
he just had
near.
my little sister, apparently, or his newest shit kid, like,
he's
a
got
month ago.
brand
He's
new
like
babies.
50 yeah.
He doesn't take care of any of them. He's got, like, no front teeth.
He's got one
cowboy hat and a Mustang. Boy,
he got rid of the cowboy hat. Now he's got a mohawk.
He does have a mohawk. Man, well, either way, he got married in a cowboy hat. So
yeah, bro, he really did.
So like AC/DC or some stupid shit.
Yeah, bro, that's really. Oh my god, bro.
Yeah, he's
really proud of that shit,
as you can get. Yeah, no.
That's the worst part though, because I grew up around there, and like that, so many people know him. They're like, oh, you're his kid, and it's like, yeah. And like in their head, they're either like, oh, I really like your dad, I like you, and that doesn't work at all. Or they're like, yo, fuck his dad, and they normally don't talk to me anyway.
Yeah.
Like, it's the worst thing ever attached to me, and it's fucked up, because, like, my entire family is racist, but they're racist in the way that they try to justify it with bullshit facts. Like, there's a video of my grandfather, which we can't play, apparently, trying to justify why it's not right to burn the rebel flag, because...
We'll probably play the audio.
Probably should. We should do that. We'll clip it in here, but it's him saying the KKK... was not a racist collective. They're just a group of gentlemen getting together talking about politics. Right. Well, they might have just happened to hang black people and burn crosses in their yards, but like mostly politics. Like, what the fuck?
And you know they started as the Democrats.
Yeah, and it's like, if you search my last name, you just get a string of racism and defending racism with bullshit facts that were made up. Like my father always spewing the first slave owner in America was black, and it's like you are so full of shit. It hurts me. Oh, and he's like, no, it's not bad for me to say the N-word because black people owned a slave one time. Bro, what?
Another one I heard as a kid from older racists is, well, you know, black people sold themselves into slavery. And it's like, well, look, if you really listen to what you just said, it makes no fucking sense. Because at the end of the day, if you come over to my land and I just tell you, like, yeah, I'm the president, man, what's up? What you doing here? Like, I saw your boats coming. I wanted to come discuss what the fuck you're doing here. And they're like, well, we're come here looking for indigenous peoples. We're trying to find some slaves. And you're like, well, I know where there's a bunch of people at. And you send them to the next couple villages over so then you can come raid their village and take all their women and everything like that. That's not me, you know what I mean? No one has permission to sell anybody else into slavery or have any person as a slave ever. Like, we're all fucking people. It's just the thought of it is disgusting.
For real.
Horrendous.
It's just crazy, man. Cause like they may in their eye the facts that they have in their eyes are like the shit they find on Facebook while scrolling. Did you know? The first black slave or the first slave in America was black? He's like, God damn it, that's it right there. It's on Facebook. It has to be true. So the rest of my life, every time I say nigger, it is no longer offensive because a black guy owned a slave first.
Oh my god. And
I'd be sure to take a screenshot and show people that. Like, bro, that says like theonion.com. And you're like, yeah, no, news.
It's real shit. It's like, oh, yep, you're right. That's like, super real.
But he lives his life off that shit. Like, it really, and the problem is, he lives in a way that he automatically hates black people. And the fact that you look for shit to justify your hatred. Or like to justify, essentially like eventually building a barrier to keep you from getting your ass kicked when someone's like, what the fuck you just said?
Right.
You should be like, no. But
right here. But right here.
Yeah, no.
But Google.
And all that shit he never talks anywhere but at his house or like by himself or around his kids. Like, you don't see none of that shit for anybody that's not white.
No.
Except your racist ass friends.
Yeah. The other one, what's the other one we always hear? Well, I can say, because black people say it all the time. Why the fuck can't I say it? It's just a word. It's a sound that comes out of my mouth. You know what I mean? And
so is you're a punk bitch, you racist piece of shit.
Exactly. You're going to get offended over that, though,
right? You're pretty mad then. Fucking stupid, bro.
Horrible. Like I said, now you come down, like, you can look up the exact origin on fucking line. If you don't believe me, look it up on fucking Google, you racist son of a bitch. Like, just look it up.
That's a real thing.
Yeah.
I just looked it up. There's not the second definition I was trying to. It had just like
that was the origin. That wasn't the exact definition.
Yeah, I was looking for the one for Merriam-Webster from 1828. It says definition: offensive usage paragraph using an insulting and contemptuous term for a black person.
Oh, there you go. That's the Webster's
used
dictionary.
as an insulting and contemptuous term for a member of any dark-skinned race. And 3, now often offensive, a member of a class or group of people who are systematically subjected to discrimination and unfair treatment. So yeah, all 3 definitions are terrible.
So if you're poor white or dark skin,
or anything that's not
you
white,
can be classified as a
That's it. So, it was just an offensive person. Well, actually, it actually says specifically that it's a group subjected to.
But you know, gives me hope. You know, gives me hope. The fact that, like you just said, like your grandfather was racist. My grandfather was racist. Like he wasn't ever racist to me. Like it's not something I knew until like he passed away, and people would tell me about incidences of him just being horrendously racist. And it's like Jesus, man. But he never was like that to me. You know what I mean? He showed me the utmost love and respect as a person for the most part. So it just shows in every racist heart there's just like they know it doesn't make sense at least a little bit, because if it comes from your bloodline then then they're okay all of a sudden somehow.
Yeah, I see a lot of that too though. There's a lot of like backwoods ass country people like, my dad would disown me if I had to kill the black man, and they do it, and like I don't love that baby, and then after like 2-3 years like, well that one's alright.
You know, alright.
It's my grandson.
Just that one.
Oh yeah, alright. Yeah.
He's a special one. He's for me.
I don't know. And that's the craziest shit, because like grew up like in a family where like more than half the kids are black.
Yeah.
So like, I didn't really have that shit. And like I went to high school and I was like, damn, there's like one black kid in the school. My cousin.
Crazy. Crazy.
For years. I don't know. It's a lot different now. Like just being around town, like it's a lot more integrated. It's like not even just close to 2 or 3 black families. Duncan alone.
It's a lot. It's a
lot.
It makes you feel a lot better when you just
and that's the craziest shit, because like. I forget we had to buy them when they were babysitter. We went somewhere and they're like, oh, is that yours to her? And I was like, yo, they really thought that I was just out with you and your kid and I was stepdad. Like, no, it's my fucking niece.
Jesus.
Yeah. But I was like, I don't know, that kind of shit gets me up. Like, her mom, I want to say she's racist, but like, yeah, like she is.
Yeah.
But
I mean,
like,
at the heart of hearts, I think we're all, I don't want to say racist, but we all got serious stereotypical flaws in our cognitive behavior.
Yeah, always.
You know what I mean? Like the way we think about shit is it just runs us in circles, because if you got one bad experience like 9/11 for most part, like set most people into a horrible tailspin about seeing people with turbans. You know what I mean? When Muslims don't even wear turbans.
Yeah. Yeah. And like, bro, the thing is like her mom, anybody in my life she assumed is somebody I'm doing drugs with, or like I sold drugs to, or like I'm addicted to drugs in some way. If she met you like once, and every time we talk about like going hang out with the kids, we came to talk to the other day about coming to the birthday party today from Amara, and she was like, Eli's the one with the dreads? Yeah, like, yeah, I like him. I'm like, yeah, she's like, yeah, there for his kids. A lot of kids, he's there. That's it. She could give a fuck less about anything else. Never bothered to ask me if you're on drugs. But the fact that you're there for your children and you're black and you're raising all of your kids, she's just like, yeah, no, you can't do that.
I mean, it's the goal, man. It's to break stereotypes.
That's what I'm saying. Like, normally any other time she's like,
shit.
you know, like, he's black, right? Like, you know, he lives in your house.
I remember the first time she saw me. It was a
she's
funny
super,
look on her
bro. I'm
face.
telling you, she's like scared. Like, I don't know, it's terrifying. She thinks that every black person's out to rob her.
I'm an exceedingly peaceful person out here.
Yeah.
Like I stay away from any type of violence I can, dude. I don't want to be doing anything like that, because I got kids, man.
For real.
And they got to be able to settle shit.
Not always in that manner.
Yeah, discreetly. I guess would be the way to put it.
I'm already having that shit with my kid, bro. Like my daughter got in trouble, beginning of this last school year. Not this school year, but the last one. Like her 3rd week, she like caught some kid in the face with a straight, like just directly to his nose. And like they asked her why she did it. She's like, I like him. He's my boyfriend. Like you can't just punch people.
Yeah, I mean you can't.
Really shouldn't have to have this discussion. Like he's cute,
Yeah.
so you punched him between his eyes. Like you're
square
bigger
in
than
the
him.
nose.
And she's like 7 inches taller than everyone else. So it's like you're kind of a bully right now. Like this kid's like, she's kind of cute. Wow. Like fuck no. She's not now. And it's hard for me. I don't know. It's hard for me, like, even now, like, talking to her, she grows up, it's not just white kids in the school, she's like, I think she's like Greenwood now. Yeah. So, like, when she's
like
seeing, like, your kids, when your kids are around and shit, like, there's no, like, when I was a kid, if there was a black kid around, you were just like, oh, shit. I didn't know there were any around here.
Yeah, no,
like, to her,
she was just like, it was like, oh my god.
Yeah.
Yo,
I know, like, 3.
And then it's, the sad part is when you see one, and they turn around and they got, like, straightened hair, and like eyeshadow, and they're like a goth kid or some stupid shit like that, or like
whether super white with suspenders on pants,
the most Caucasian kid you could ever imagine being a black kid.
Yeah, and that's a good thing for me. Like my kid grows up around like she doesn't know.
And those kids are a big problem too.
Yeah.
Those kids that are the light skinned kids that don't want to be black. You know you don't want to be black. You got straightened your hair and you're doing the whole goth thing, whatever the fuck you're doing, like whatever. You're not proud to be who you are at the end of the day. Everyone should be proud of the body that you're fucking born in. You know what I mean? Because you're stuck with the shit. You know what I mean? That's just my personal opinion.
Shit.
But where the fuck was I going with that? I don't know. I spaced out right there.
You're good, bro. Dude, I was just saying, like, our kids are growing up at an age where like, racism isn't nearly as prominent. It is, but it's not as like violent in your face.
I know where I was going with that. So the fucking those kids that are the ones, those are the ones that the white kids can go to and be like, yo, what's up, my nigga? Da, 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 da. And they'll let it go. Because they just want to be accepted in the schools.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They just want to be accepted in the community, and they feel like if they just let that shit go, they won't have to argue with as many people over the course of their school careers. And like, I understand the decision, but at the end of the day, it's one of those things like you gotta be proud to be who the fuck you are. You know what I mean? Like, if you're gonna be looked at as a black man your whole life, it doesn't matter if you're 1/4 black or fucking straight from Africa. If they're gonna look at you like the way they look at you here in this country, like you gonna have to be like, you gotta show them a reason to look at you. You know what I mean? Like not in a negative way, but at least look at you as some type of respectable. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not just gonna let you sit here and run all over me. You know what I mean?
For real.
That's why I have so many arguments with people over this same fucking topic, because nobody has the right to hate speech.
Yeah, anytime that shit comes up in a group, there's always somebody, like, anytime you say that, someone would be like, oh, bro, we've been friends since we were like 3. Like, I don't give a fuck. I know him since he was fucking born. I still don't. Like,
punched more kids in their face than I can remember.
That's cool. I've punched people I've known since they were 1. Like, you can catch it too.
Shit, me and my brother fight pretty regularly throughout our life at intervals. We're always fucking rumbling, and I love him. I don't even like you like that. You know what I mean?
For real. Like, I haven't fucking seen you in 8 years. I wasn't cool with you then. I punch you in your shit and feel great afterward.
Fucking people. Oh my goodness.
That's the other thing, but there's a lot. There's a whole lot of hate now for stupid shit, bro. I've been thinking. I was talking to Andy about that New York boy. It's in all facets now. People take something that's supposed to be beneficial, like against hate, and make it hateful. Like Antifa, like the group now, like the anti-fascist thing. Like, I'm really into punk music, and I like the idea of it to be against homophobia, to be against racism, against police brutality, but to be violent and like spitting on and throwing Molotovs at people that like just happen to be Republican, that haven't actually done anything wrong, is not actually solving anything.
No.
Like the whole Antifa movement, hating anyone, like, not even like white supremacists, just anyone that's Republican, like immediately calling, like rallying against them, like shouting insults at them in public. Like, what the fuck are you accomplishing, bro? Like, you're just slinging hate at someone. You're gonna make them hate you. Like, you're not doing anything but fucking like causing discord.
Yeah, no, it's disgusting. It's disgusting.
And there's so much of it going on now, bro. Like, it's retarded.
It's the same thing with, like I said, with that Black Lives Matter shit. Like, it was a good idea on paper.
Yeah.
Like, on paper, it's a good idea how to do this protest. This is how we're gonna do it. But like in reality, you gotta remember, like, these are fellow citizens, you know what I mean? These are our brother Americans and sister Americans and shit that we're trying to persuade to just listen to us and look at us as people. Yeah. You know what I mean?
And that's the shit, like when that All Lives Matter shit started, it really is just like white people just want a reason to argue back. Like, well, fuck you. Are you special because you're black? Like, bro,
it's like, no, don't get your fucking panties out of a bunch. We didn't say your life didn't matter in the first. Everyone knows your fucking life matters. If your daughter gets kidnapped, it's a giant fucking thing on the news.
It makes sense to go.
Oh my fucking god! If my kid gets kidnapped in the middle of the city, like it goes on a blip. It'll go up on the board for an hour. They'll see it on the news for like 2 seconds that night, and that's it. You know what I mean? If a little girl goes missing in the woods, there's fucking search parties and all this other crazy shit. Like, it's not the fucking same. You know?
It's a reality, and that's a real thing. Like, if my daughter were to go missing tomorrow, like it would make the news for like the next 3 months. Yeah. If like you're an inner city like black family, let's say you live in like where we live, like 120th and Market and shit, and your kid went missing. The police would come out and would tell you they can't fill out a report for 48 hours. And you call back in 48 hours, they're like, well, you sure she's been missing for 48 hours? And after you get the runaround for 12 hours, they'll fill a report out, which they'll file saying she's missing, and there will be nothing said about it.
Yeah, cops
she's just gone.
Horrible, man. They're not here to prevent crime. They're here to react to crime.
Yeah, and that's the crazy shit. The fact that, and who was I talking about this the other day? The fact that we have like undercover cars that are just straight.
That was me. I was talking
just straight like a red car, like a fucking like a Chevy driving, but they got lights in the hood, like the undercovers.
Or the black cars with the matte print on it, so you can only see it when you're right up.
If a cop car, if the police have to hide from you in order to protect you, they're no longer looking to protect you. No. Like if they have to hide from me to serve me, you're not serving.
It's not just cops though, man. It's anybody in like positions of power like that. Like you were with me. We went to the Literacy Council the other day because I'm gonna be going in to start college for communications. You know what I mean? I'm taking you in there with me. Hopefully you get whatever I forget what degree you were talking about.
Computer tech support.
Computer tech support. So yeah, and that'd be perfect for this because it'd be quicker. You know what I mean? Get all this shit on lock, and like, we're going in there Monday. What the fuck was I saying? Christ, dude, it's been a crazily long day. It's been my daughter's birthday party and everything today, so I'm kind of like spacing a little bit. I don't know, bro. Bunch of craziness.
Bunch of craziness.
I just forget where the fuck I was going right there.
I completely forget because you said you forgot. I was following along with you and you did that. Look what you've done.
It's horrible. Reaction. It's horrible.
You know, 30 seconds.
Smoke too much weed. It's
ridiculous out too.
It's whatever, man. Whatever. Fucking.
You look like you spaced. Every time I talk, you start to say something. You're like,
I have so many things I want to talk about.
I've heard you like 3 separate times start a point and in the middle of you talking and then forget where the fuck you were going halfway through and just kind of fade out. Like, I don't remember what like 3 separate times. And I see you in your eyes like, I'm fucking too hard.
It's because it's crazy, dude. It's one of those things I've dealt with my entire life, you know what I mean? And it's fucking stupid. Like, there's no good, solid argument on why white people should be allowed to see the word nigger. Like, there's no reason we should feel special enough.
And that's like at this point, it's like gay people don't call each other, and like they do call each other faggot, but you will never hear somebody argue like, why can't I call him a faggot too? That will never be an actual argument. Yeah. There will never be that argument. That's not even brought to the forefront. People won't even entertain that idea. No. But like if a white person is nigger, they're like, well, you know, like black people say it. Like, yeah, but like some gay people be like, what's up, faggot? Like,
and the worst part is the people that actually say it aren't like rich people. That's not like a term that most rich people use anymore to describe the filth of the underclass. Negroes, you know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, like I said, they look at poor whites like that too. You know what I mean? Like
I know, bro. I've seen that shit just for that job I had, bro. I've seen that shit firsthand. It's fucking insane.
Oh yeah.
They look at us and we're garbage because we're working.
You came from the trailer park areas and everything like that. You might as well be black. You might as well be fucking black to most people in the higher community, as they call themselves. You know what I mean?
Fucking insane.
But
and it's great, like you said about like racism being on both sides. It was the same shit as like living in Harrisburg, where people hated us. Like just
I think that was maybe the most healthy experience you might have. You went to jail, so like I know
for me it wasn't shit. It was just with her, because she don't have to deal with that shit, bro. It's like you just sit there quiet, like nah, fuck him, like no, not fuck him, because he kicks us the fuck out. Like,
yeah, but like
I don't get it.
It's something I think every white person should experience just for like a month out of their life, just moving into the hood for 1 month.
You're white. Like I'm cool. Most of me, my landlord hated me, and my property manager hated me. And just told us just like we're the only white people in the house. We don't really like white people.
But instead of worrying about your neighbors calling the cops on you and all that. Your tires will just be slashed, your whole car will be fucked, all this stupid shit.
Fucking with your shit.
Yeah, until you leave, until you fucking leave. And like I said, it comes down to racism on that side, you know what I mean?
And I see it entirely different front too, the fact that like where we were living at, we used to walk like 2 blocks down and go get cigarettes and get a couple of Lucy's or something. There's always a bunch of crackheads outside, like, yo, so what you looking for? Like, grab me some cigarettes. Like, what you really looking for? Like, get the fuck out of here, because I'm white, I'm buying drugs, get the fuck away from me.
In their mind, they think, yeah. You know you get.
And I had that happen, bro. I almost punched the one. There was, bro, he had to be like 50, 55. Dude, old as hell. Like he was like falling apart. And then we went in to get cigarettes, and Crystal came, or I went in to get cigarettes, and I came out. And as I'm walking around the corner, he's like, "Why you here? Like, what you looking for?" And he's like, "My girlfriend's, my man's getting cigarettes." And he's like, "What you really looking for?" Like right here. And I was like, "Yo, back the fuck up." And like, she was just like, "What? Cause I'm fucking white?" Like, no, I didn't see it at all. Like, yeah, what the fuck am I really looking for, bro? Like, get the fuck away from me.
You were thinking it.
And it happens so often, bro. Anywhere we walk like 20th above, we'd like walk to the store a block away, like, "Yo, what you looking for out here?" Like, I'm looking to get to the corner store. Like, why? Because I'm white, am I buying drugs up here? It's just like, annoying.
There's another side of it, like that. I don't call it racist though. I call it like righteous fear, because like coming from Harrisburg in like a Harrisburg car with the inspection stickers or anything like that, and going into like Perry County or Cumberland or anything like that. If you go through a white neighborhood and they see your inspections, they run your shit, and you pop up Harrisburg and you're black, you got a better chance of getting pulled over than if you weren't. You know what I mean? They'll say you missed a turn signal or anything stupid like that, whatever they need to do to pull you over, rip you out of the car, search your entire fucking car over a turn signal. And they don't say it like that. They'll say because you have a prior conviction for something, or you've been flagged, or you've been known to associate with unlawful people, any possible reason that they need, and then they can always just say they smell weed in the car. If they just say they smell weed in the car, they have enough right to pull you out of the car, whether or not they actually smell weed. You know what I mean? You could have smoked weed 6 o'clock that fucking morning, sit in your couch and watched anime for 3 hours before you did anything with your life. But no, you're still high. I smell weed on you because you smoked at some point.
Yeah.
So you must be a fucking terrorist. I'm gonna have to rip you out of this car right now.
That's the craziest shit, bro. Like that's what we got that charge. Whenever Crystal got the charge for possession, like the cop just gets like, yeah, I smoke weed in the car. Like, I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. Like, I definitely do. Like, no, you don't.
You don't.
Well, I do. You definitely don't. And then you saw a roach this big. There wasn't even weed in it. It was just tobacco, like the end of the blunt. It was just like, oh, that's it. You fucking lied out of the car. Ripped the car apart. Found literally nothing, and still took her to jail. Just the most minor.
It's
like,
one of those things like they have the power to get butthurt and do something
in
about
the
being
parking lot
butthurt, so.
next to a dispensary. That's the craziest
That's
shit.
what
to
cracked me
like,
up about it when you told me like you were parked next to a dispensary.
So
And
tow my
smoke
car.
weed.
She got arrested for less than a half gram possession in literally 50 yards in the parking lot of a dispensary.
All right, we're back. Sorry, my camera cut off on me. I was getting low on battery. Been sitting here talking for a little bit. And I guess I don't have it set it up all crazy in the computer and stuff, so it's not like streaming directly. But yeah, I don't know. If you stuck through, thank you. I appreciate everyone that comes on and sticks the whole way through my podcast. And I can use all the watch time I can get, and hopefully I can give you engaging content and entertaining content that'll make you think a little bit, if nothing else. You know what I mean? Yeah, I appreciate all the support. And I don't know, anything you want to get into?
Definitely smash the like and subscribe button.
Smash that shit.
Just click that.
Just this once. You don't gotta ever hit subscribe again. If you do it just this one time. Just this one time.
Just one time.
But
take care of the rest.
Big things to come. Big things to come. Me and Tony are always good. I think me and him got good dialogue. But at the end of the day, like I'm very excited to talk to some people that I have no prior real communication with in life, you know what I mean? And get some stories, because at the end of the day, I think that's what this podcast is really about, is stories, you know what I mean? And getting people's stories down on camera and on tape for the world to see, because like I might only have almost 100 subscribers right now, but 5 years from now I will have, you know what I mean, almost 1 million, almost 5 million, whatever the fuck I'm supposed to be at, you know what I mean? Because I'm very serious about this, and Tony is too. We're going hard on this. This is life right here. So
we doing a giveaway for
100
subscribers.
We could probably do a giveaway for 100. We're gonna have to wait and see.
Get a little bit of bread put together. We get something nice.
Oh man, we could definitely get like a $10 gift card or something. Like we would do it. Obviously, if we had a gift card, we'd just be, you have to like, subscribe, and share a random video. It'd be truly random.
T-shirts, business cards, and stickers, hopefully soon.
Yeah. No, I don't know if anyone's noticed, but the channel name has changed. It's not Elephant in the Room anymore. It's What You Think. That's our actual channel name. The name of the podcast is still going to be Elephant in the Room, because it's just going to be the name of one show on our channel, and the channel will be What You Think from now on. I like it. It pops up a little easier when you're searching. You can search What You Think Harrisburg, and my pretty face will pop right up on you. So, I don't know. I think that's about it. I think this was a good one, man. I appreciate you coming on and doing this with me. I know you'd rather be behind the camera than in front of it, but whatever works, man. You know what I mean? All right. For everybody else, you guys have a good night. Peace.